I'm so delighted to be here, and what a wonderful opportunity, as Mel says, to leave everything outside this room and to be here now, physically, emotionally, psychologically, but most importantly, emotionally. So I'm really excited about being with you here today and starting us off with a fascinating topic, which is all about the future world of work. I'll let you into a secret, shall I? The future world of work is already here. Everybody thinks that we're talking about next year, or 5 years' time, or 10 or 50. It's here. The work that we're doing here and now is changing on literally a daily basis. So the exciting thing is that we have every opportunity right now to grab this and think about how we can live our best life. What does that mean in terms of us enabling and unlocking our potential and putting our best foot forward? So what I'm going to do this morning is just show you a glimpse into what this is already beginning to look and feel like, but most importantly, think about how you want to position yourself and how you can deploy your best self in thinking about how the future world of work will make you the best that you can be. And one thing I'd like to not show you, I love doing this, is a video. We won't have time this morning, but I'm already giving you homework. So one of the things I'd love you to do over the weekend when you're lying in the garden, the sun's shining, you're thinking, oh, what shall I listen or watch to? Go on to the YouTube, look up Dave Coplin. He's the Microsoft technologist, chief officer for strategy, and he does a fantastic animation with the RSA on the future world of work. It is brilliant. It's 9 minutes long. I'd love to show it to you, but I've already spent too long talking about it. So do go and watch it, and it's a brilliant introduction to what the world of work already is looking and feeling like. Because when people say to me, the future world of work, they think of this. They think of we're going to be sat in front of a computer screen, and that's literally what we're going to be asked to do on a daily basis. In fact, I don't even know if these people that are in this image here are even human. They could even be robots, who knows? Yet some of the things that we're hearing and reading are really hyping up the impact of what the future world of work is going to be like. But actually, one of the things to think about is there's not going to be that much difference. There are going to be some things that are going to stay the same. So one of the things that's going to stay the same about the future world of work is about innovation and creativity. It's going to become even more important than it is today. So let's think about how we can use our creative skills, how we can be inspirational in terms of what we do. Another thing is that it's all going to be about connectivity. We've already talked in particular about networking, about connecting and relationships. Even more, organizations, the way that we work, will be about who you know, how you come across, who you engage with, how you contract in terms of your relationships. So even more important that we develop and nurture those skills in terms of engagement. Now, this picture, I do wonder about it, actually. She's not holding him up on the tip of her finger, which is when I first saw it. But guess what? And this isn't just about agile working or flexibility. This is about adaptability. This is about putting yourself in situations where you may feel ever slightly uncomfortable. I feel uncomfortable looking at that. But the future world of work, here and now, what's going to change is going to be this ability to adapt, to create, to reinvent, and most importantly, to learn. The continuous learning ability of us to take on board what we need to do differently, how we need to evolve, is going to be even more important than it is today. So, innovation, yeah, very important. Connecting, relationships, flexibility, ways of working. The ambidexterity of what you see on that screen is so important. And then last but not least, what is this image telling you? It's about trust. So important. And what I mean about trust is being trustworthy. So Mel mentioned this report that came out this week from my old firm, actually, PwC, which reports that more chief execs are being fired because of ethical lapses of conduct and behaviour, more so than financial performance. And those are the ones that got pushed as opposed to walked freely. This is not anymore about making money at whatever cost. So trustworthiness, honesty, consistency, integrity in what you do and how you do it is actually going to be so fundamentally core to being successful at work. So, the future world of work is exciting. I didn't see one machine there. There wasn't, anything. There was no algorithms. There were no codes. It's actually so much about what we are good at intuitively a lot of the time. And I don't want to stereotype, but women are pretty good at juggling and being flexible and managing priorities. Yeah, we're pretty good at building relationships and connecting. Yeah, I can talk to anyone any time of the day. Yeah, we're quite good at making that connection and that relationship. So what are we going to do to ensure that we are there at the forefront of this new world? There was a report that came out last year, in fact Deloitte did this, which I found really interesting, where it asked CEOs about what they considered the future world of work could look like. And on it's your right-hand side there, you can see in the grey area some of the things that we used to value really importantly within business. So this is all through the work that we've done, as a society since the Industrial Revolution. What have we valued? We have valued things such as cost reduction and efficiencies. We have valued the ability to develop skills, technical competence. We have valued the fact that we can automate things. So industrialization has been very important to us, and scalability. And we've thought about how we can grow and develop given enormous targets and the ability to grow global. That has been, on the right-hand side, what we have valued when we thought about what work is. Going forward, work is not going to be about that. Work is actually going to be, on the left-hand side there, something much more around problem solving, about creativity, about capabilities rather than skills. It's about your ability to adapt and evolve. It's going to be about identifying unseen opportunities. So that ability to deal with ambiguity and uncertainty, and believe me, I think we all know that, don't we, in the world that we're living in today. So how we define work is going to be very different. The traditional characteristics of what we thought was successful at work, on the right-hand side there, are no longer going to be as valuable. So really important for us to think about what this means then, because there's going to actually be a significant paradigm shift in terms of how work is evolving and changing. So looking at that left-hand side, from efficiency to expanding value, the objectivity of work is changing. Why are we doing it? It's not just because we want to be efficient, because we want to create value. We want to make a difference. This is about responsible business, doing things because society is going to benefit from doing it. So we are redefining what work is. We're moving away from purely routine tasks which are not value-adding, not enriching, not challenging or stretching. The machines can do that, to things where we can actually grapple with those challenges and those problems. It's the capabilities to be able to execute that. And finally, the human bit, the ability to say, actually, those routine tasks, the skills to do that, are no longer what we value in terms of creation and value. It's about the capabilities, the difference that we make through what we do and how we do it. And this is happening right now. We're already seeing businesses being challenged in terms of how they're structured, how they're governed, how they're monitored and reported, and the societal expectations about what good business looks like. It's not good enough anymore just to say you're doing the right thing. You need to actually deliver it as well. So those shifts are very important for us to think about and to consider what that means, therefore. And the word I've used a number of times now, it's about value. So all those skills that I talked about in terms of being creative and innovative, in terms of being able to build connections and relationships, this is all about focusing around common objectives, or what I'm hearing more and more, and I'm sure you're hearing as well, is about a common purpose. Understanding why we're here, what is the point of the business, how are we contributing and effectively delivering a responsible outcome, not just for the shareholders, but also wider society as well. So that means everyone is aligned to the company mission. That means we're all coherent. There's a trust, there's a sense of purpose, we're a team, there's a collective, there's a we mindset, not a me. It's not about me, it's about all of us here. It's about measuring our outputs from a value basis, not from purely financial. It's flattening the hierarchy. What we saw through the Industrial Revolution, what we're seeing in the last 30, 40 years of capitalism around power and status, no longer as valid. it's about co-creation, collaboration, and networking and connecting. And it's all about achieving those goals and inspiring and empowering others, because value is what we're looking to deliver through our work, not just the financial outcomes. One of the good things, and I can't talk about the future world of work without referencing technology, obviously, is that technology is going to help us deliver this. And I see technology as being a positive force for good. I get asked to talk an awful lot about the ethicability of the new technology that we're seeing, the algorithms that are being designed, and some of the challenges that we've got. But actually, technology can be and should be and must be deployed as a force for good. We cannot afford not to have new artificial intelligence systems helping us cure disease, helping us reduce poverty, helping us with climate change. It's already happening. We have to have it. We need it in order to survive, given where we are at. But we must ensure that we do it with the humanity at its core. So for a sense of good and a sense of purpose, because you see I thought we'd get some men in the room. Excuse me, I know there are a couple of gentlemen in the room as well. But put some men on the screen here. There's a lot of hype and there's a lot of difference between what we hear in the media. So we've got Mark Zuckerberg there from Facebook, who is saying, actually, I think technology is brilliant. And obviously, given what he's done with Facebook and how he's positioning the technology, he is saying absolutely the use of technology being fundamental how we are going to survive as a human race. We've got the naysayers on the right-hand side, Elon Musk from Tesla, who's saying, actually, if we're not careful, we're going to end up like what we've done to mountain gorillas and putting them in zoos. That's what's going to happen to humans. He's kind of like the doom and gloom about how we need to make sure that we regulate and we govern and we audit to a strict degree about technology. So we've got these other kind of extreme ends of the spectrum about how technology is used. So Mark is saying, well, we don't have a choice. It's here. It's helping us, enriching our lives. It's being here as something that is a no-brainer. And then you've got Elon Musk on the other side saying, this is terrible. We're going to be killing ourselves with all these driverless cars. So who do you believe? Yeah, because essentially there's an awful lot of press, an awful lot of hype that's in there. I want to give you I'm going to ask you to guess actually what the stats are here in terms of what the World Economic Forum said. They said between now and 2026, X% of the roles which are likely to be displaced by technology are dominated by women. What do you think the number was? 75 I heard? 50? This side of the room? 60? God, somebody's looked at my slides. 57. Or somebody's read the World Economic Forum report, in which case you need to get a life. No, it's very good. No, it's brilliant, it's brilliant. I've read them, believe me, they're good. 57% between now and the next 6 years. That's a bit shocking. Future disruption is more likely to hit blankety blank, administration and blank roles, which are still dominated by women. What do you think? What type of roles are going to be hit? Education? Caring? Nursing, I heard? Management? The challenge we have is that stereotypically women do certain types of roles. And those roles tend to be the administrative, the clerical, the potentially low-educated roles, which unfortunately are the ones that are going to be replaced by the technology because they are processing their tasks. They are seen not to be value-adding. So yes, customer service, administration, and clerical roles are still going to be hit quite predominantly by the impact of technology. And this is an impact because what's happening, and this is a report that came out from the Women's Engineering Society, 15% of people working in STEM roles in the UK, there are going to be new jobs that are created because of technology, but they're more likely to be replaced by men that will do it because they're the ones who tend to do those types of jobs. The women, unfortunately, are put into those more administrative type of jobs. So we don't have the influence of women at senior positions within the world of technology that will ensure that we don't lose track. Because we've made so much progress in terms of the gender pay gap and in terms of making sure that we have more influence in the workplace. But unfortunately, automation could start to undermine all that. But this is really interesting. I love this slide, and I'm not expecting you to read it. But what you've got here on the y-axis is potential jobs at high risk. So the higher up you go, the higher the percentage of jobs you're going to lose, and there's your years along here. Basically, the early years, I'll read it for you, the earlier years, the women are going to be most adversely affected by automation. But look what happens in 2030. This line is men. Because what's happening in the early years, it's things such as automation and processing within financial services, within service industries, where a lot of administration and clerical work is going to be replaced by technology. The next wave of automation and technology in the 2030s is going to be in the transport sector. Where suddenly we're not going to see men driving lorries as they do, or taxis or cars. It's going to be in the heavy industry or a construction industry, where more and more machines will be doing the underground mining, and it won't be done by the traditionally held jobs by men. So my guess is we'll get to 2029 or 2030, and suddenly we hear all these men going, hang on a minute, what's going on here? And what we've been experiencing much earlier on as women is the impact of technology. So what I'm trying to get across is we're all in it together. This is actually a societal issue about how we ensure technology and the future world of work works for all of us. This isn't about devising the gender and making sure that we're discriminating against either one. It's actually saying, what are we going to do to ensure that everybody has a value-adding and enriching role to play as we move on? But these are all predictions. I suppose that's the key thing I wanted to say here. All of these reports are predictions. So just to, I suppose, assuage your fears, and just to think about, well, we didn't see what was happening in terms of the financial crisis in 2008, so, who knows how accurate these predictions are. What we do know about the future world of work is that it's going to look different, So what you see through that lens on the left there is going to look different in the future. Things are going to change. They are already changing. And it is down to us as individuals about how we respond to that change. Do we see it as an opportunity, or do we see it as a threat? Do we want to think about how we can turn that into a positive, or do we want to go in ourselves and say, life's not fair? But it is going to change, and it's already looking and feeling different in terms of what we do and how we do it. We will need people-orientated skills even more so than ever. So there's loads of reports, I can quote loads of things at you, that skills and capabilities such as leadership, collaboration, building relationships, creativity, adaptability, they are exactly what people are looking for in future leaders, not just technical competence or skills. They can evolve, they can be re-educated and brought up. So people-orientated skills are going to be even more important. And I love Dr. Frankenstein and the monster. People say these machines, these algorithms, these AIs, which some of you will be working in, I'm sure, I hope, they're wrong, they're biased, they're inherently flawed, but those machines are being created by us. It's not the machine, it's not the algorithm that's unethical, it's not the unconscious bias of the machine, it's us who are training and coding it to operate in that way. So actually, we can't blame the monster, we need to blame the humans. And I'm not into blame, I don't do blame. This is all about how we ensure that we work together to ensure that we co-create the outcomes, the machines that we need to be a force for good. So, my final message to you then, I wanted to be inspiring, I wanted to really give you a different light in terms of what the world of work could look like. There's so much research gone into this, and it literally is research. It's based on predictions. We have no guarantee. We don't know what's going to happen, but we do know we have the opportunity here and now to play a role in terms of how we position ourselves. So my message to you is, let's not just say, well, it's too late, it's already gone and happened. No, it's not. It's happening right here and now. And the most important piece is that we have a choice about how we respond to it. And the people sitting in this room here, our inherent strengths around connecting, around our creativity and our innovation are going to what takes us through and unlocks the best in all of us. So my final words to you is, the future is bright. It really depends about which way you want to take it. I wish you an absolutely fabulous day. Have fun. I can't wait to get to meet as many of you as possible. Back over to you, Mel. Thank you very much.